Just do me a favor. Tell my kids I love this country if my heart stops during the show in the next hour, because Bafana Bafana are in action. They take on Liberia at a packed stadium. The KDA stadium is absolutely packed, and a starting 11 that many have frowned upon. I want to hear from you. Give us a call right now on 086 000 2160. We aren't live on Twitter this evening because Bafana Bafana game, the live stream to that is live on SABC Sport. We are live on Facebook though. So if you want to see a grown man sweat during a 90 minutes, if you want to see what uneasiness looks like, it's going to be me. There's a free kick right now just outside the box. I think the guys have been told that it's indirect. The ref still got his hand up to say that it's indirect. So I'm hoping that we've learned from this. Oh, it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. Nothing came of that. But I'd love to hear from you. You've seen the starting 11 of Bafana Bafana, 086 000 2160. A highly changed team. He's kept, let me see, of the players that are there now, he's kept 1, 2, 3, 4. He's kept 5 players from the team that started here in South Africa. Zakele Lepasa comes in as a lone striker alongside Mihlali Mayambela, Morena's in there, Percy Tau's in there, Sithole Mokoena. Then it's Mayela, Mvala, Kulu and Mobi in defense. That's the starting 11. Let's watch this game together. I know you're at home, you're watching the game. Give us a call right now. What are your thoughts on the starting 11? Let's go through it. And of course, at 1:30, we're going to be having such a great conversation. One that I'm looking forward to, but I'm hoping that my emotions don't get the better of me today. At 1:30, we're going to begin a very intense conversation about self-worth. Self-worth in sport. What do you do when you come on an opportunity that is disguised as an opportunity? You get what I mean at 1:30. But right now, I want to hear from you. The starting 11 for Bafana is all changed. It's 10 minutes in, still 0-0. Your thoughts, please.
Yo, we gon' get them. Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
For those who are searching for their families, promoting truth, healing, reconciliation between loved ones. Come home. Khumbule Khaya, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. only on SABC1.
Buy a Mahindra SUV by the 31st of March with no deposit and enjoy a 3-month payment holiday. Test drive the bold and dynamic XUV 300, explore active living with the XUV 700, or unleash a real adventure in the all-new Scorpio N. Your next adventure awaits. Visit your nearest Mahindra dealer today or visit mahindra.co.za and book your test drive. T's and C's apply.
From the halls of parliament, constitutional courts, countless revolutions, to ensuring that a house becomes a home, women have and still continue to make great strides in shaping the world in which we live. Fearless, pioneering, strong, nurturing, innovative, ground shakers. This International Women's Day, S3 celebrates you, the woman that continues to make an impact in every sphere that she finds herself in. Catch these thought-provoking documentaries: Lipstick and Liquor, Michelle Obama, Forward Motion, Perfect 14, Back to Natural, and Rural Diamonds, broadcasting all in celebration of International Women's Month every Wednesday at 9 p.m. this month. Follow S3 on all social media platforms for more information. #her, past, now, infinity.
The Metro FM Music Awards 2023 are back in Bombela, Mpumalanga. The awards return to honor and celebrate the best of South African talent. Stand by for the nominee announcements and get ready to vote for your favorite artists. The biggest night on the South African music calendar, going down on the 6th of May at the Mbombela Stadium of Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Metro FM, it's where you're at. This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sports. Let's go.
We do have Morocco home and away, and we've got Liberia home and away. We need to win and just get 2 games, 6 points, even if it's just 2 home games that we win out of this. And we're going to speak to Clyde Clough for that.
If we start thinking about we have qualified, it will become a problem. Remember 2010? Everyone spoke about how they will beat Uruguay and draw with Mexico and qualify to the next round. We don't want to mention what happened on that call in Pretoria when Ncube was sent off and the Vuvuzelas were left at Loftus Stadium. A couple of journalists from Zim that I've spoken to have said this is the break that the country needs to sort their issues out. The Zim fans will be saying Bafana went to AFCON because Zim wasn't there. You know the story about the 95? Nigerians still say Bafana won the 96 AFCON because Nigeria wasn't there.
Sport Night Amplified, weekdays, 6 till 7 p.m. on Metro FM.
I think we are.
This is Sport Night Amplified.
I think we are stressing together as a nation. I think we are all stressing together. It is 0-0 at the moment after 13 minutes of the match has been played. South Africa is away in Liberia. I'd love to hear from you. You've seen the starting 11. You've seen the first 13 minutes. At half past, we're going to change conversation to have potentially the biggest conversation that we need to have about self-worth as South Africans. But we'll get to that with a very important guest. Right now, though, let's go to Nadeem. He's a regular on this show. Every single Friday, you can catch Nadeem Lukele here on Sports Not Amplified with Andile. Nadeem, you've seen the starting 11. You've watched 10 minutes. Well, just over 10 minutes already. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a very interesting one, but you can see that the coach selected. It's so Andile. Good evening to Metro FM listeners and everyone. I'm sorry to get too excited. Yeah, it's a lineup that you feel that the coach actually is. You see, right back, Mobi is the kind of a guy that the coach trusts, as well as the Ncube. And then my left back, those are the players that the coach has been selecting for the past 2 years, as well as Lipasa. Lipasa is one of his favorite players. The coach likes him because he believes that he's very good in holding the ball and creating chances for everyone. Even though Laila Foster scored a brace, but he's not made the starting lineup. So it's a very interesting one. I think the coach decided just to go with the players that he trusts. He believes that this is the kind of players that can make him win the match.
You say that, Nadeem, so then why didn't he play them in the first leg if you trust them so much?
Oh, he was disappointed, Andy. Remember, they were leading 2-0, and then they made the game where it was a draw. But now sometimes you need to go with your strongest warriors, people that you feel like they've done in the national team. Some of the games that you played before, the Frankies, they've done well. The players that you feel they've done well, sometimes you feel that you should put them there. So that's what the coach is doing now.
Well, we're going to have this discussion on Friday alongside the fact that our under-23s yesterday failed to qualify for AFCON, therefore failed to qualify for the Olympics. Nadeem Lukele is going to be part of the conversation, so join us on Friday. Right now, though, let's go to Roodepoort. Lunga is out in Roodepoort. Lunga, hi.
Good day, Andile. How are you?
I'm not sure. How are you?
No, I mean, I'm okay. Yesterday I was a little bit upset, but today I'm okay.
Under 23s didn't qualify yesterday. David Notwane's team. We're going to be hearing from David Notwane in a couple of minutes. But what do you think of this starting 11 and what Hugo Bruce has done?
I don't have a problem with everything, Andile. As long as, like in South Africa, we have a population of almost 70 million. The chosen one must take responsibility. 26, 20, let me just say 30 players chosen out of
23, yeah.
Yeah. Take responsibility, show up. Simple as that. Bafana Bafana camps, like, teach them the course that we did at school. I mean, I did logistics from point A to the last point. Yeah? Productivity. Order something and in a turnaround of 24 hours, simple as that. Whoever they pick, no matter Gardner, Masit September, I'm a representer. Do that. No. The crowd makes you play. Simple as that. And you enjoy the game. That's part of the game. Just go out there, represent the country. You are a brand as a player. South Africa, I'm a player. You are a brand. Push your brand.
I appreciate it. Lutendo Zivani says, listening to your show while watching on the screen. Oh, man, we need to ask the boys about Foster being left out. I know, Lepasa, you're a huge fan yourself. I am. Let's go to, where are we going now? To Orange Grove. Mandla's there. Mandla.
How are you, sir? How are you?
I don't know how I am, Mandla. Talk to me about you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Bafana Bafana.
Hey, my thoughts Bafana Bafana. You know what? Coach must keep sit outside the clipboard. We must sit down outside the clipboard. We must see the game first. We must put the second half. We must put another player. We must see what is going on.
Well, Percy Tau, I can tell you now, he's on the field. He's starting.
No, but for my thoughts were not even why are you starting the game? Because last time we lose so much goals in front of goalkeeper.
And also, I mean, if you're watching the game now, the field is horrible. I mean, it's an artificial pitch that looks like it's very newly laid. So I'm not sure if it's going to favor Bafana Bafana here. Oh, here we go. Zakhele Lepasa with an opportunity. I can tell you now that Bafana Bafana has scored. Bafana Bafana have scored. Zakhele Lepasa with the goal. It's 1-0. Thank you so much to Mandla. Let's go to Tabang and Rustenburg. Bafana Bafana have scored in 18 minutes. It's Zakhele Lepasa who scored that goal. Tabang.
How's it, Andile?
Hey, man. You guys always get on me for Zakhele. There he is scoring.
Hey, you're a player, man. You're a player.
Zakhele Lepasa has scored away from home. It's 1-0 right now.
Come Cindy's. Let's
Talk
just
to me.
hope,
Your thoughts.
Andile, man. My thoughts were before game start.
Hey.
Just so that maybe if we fail to qualify, you see. But at least now, state 11, I can't complain, you see, because family no believe I'm a coach, whatever state 11, again, I think. So now, one of the pass, I want to trend on Twitter, La Pass. How come? First, I want to pass, but now, you see. So, I don't know me. As a country.
As a country, Arminia. Remember, guys, as well, that, for those, I did say it a little bit earlier, but I'm not sure if I said Lyle Foster not feeling well today. He has been listed as people on the bench, but he is not feeling well. For Siwen Ngobo doing the show, of course, on SABC Sport, passing on that information. Let's move on now. Let's go on. Do we have one more? Oh, we need to go to the coach, right? All right, cool. Let's take a break. But when we come back, Bafana Bafana, former coach, coming on to talk to us about his thoughts. I'm pretty sure he's got the TV on as well. So we'll have that conversation in a bit.
The Bridge, 9 till 12, with DJ Sammy.
In December, when my ex-boyfriend came to see me, the wife told both families that she wants out. But because I gave him the impression that wherever it is that I was happy, then he kept it from me. He didn't tell me.
So, Anonymous, you're going to keep both these men. Do you understand me?
Hmm?
Hey! I'm afraid. Like I said, when the kid. Yes, okay.
Do you have a relationship issue and need some advice? Call and ask a man.
In the game of cricket, no dream is ever chased alone. This will be witnessed at Sahara Park Willemore Cricket Stadium when South Africa battles it out with Netherlands in the first ODI encounter. This is the summer of cricket. The Dutch are in town to spoil Mzansi's day, but the Proteas trust their game plan. Be part of it. South Africa takes on Netherlands in the first one-day international clash on Friday, 31 March at 12 midday, live on S3. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Yo, we gon' get them. Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303. Don't touch that dial. It's now a different playing field. Metro FM. Hottest hit in the streets.
It's exactly 22 after the hour 6. 21 minutes have been played between Bafana Bafana and Liberia, and the score remains 1-0. It is Zakhele Lepasa that's put us forward. Former coach of Bafana Bafana and a man that I enjoy having conversations with, Gordon Egerson, now joining me on the line. Gordon, thank you so much for joining and welcome to the show.
Hello, Andile. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Gordon, I mean, I know many think you are sitting in retirement. They don't know how, you're sharpening your tools every day. We're speaking about Bafana Bafana. We're speaking about the national team, something you've been in charge of before. What are your thoughts when you see, the previous game against Liberia, what we're doing now? What are your overall thoughts on Bafana Bafana at the moment?
Look, obviously, we put ourselves in a predicament that we shouldn't be in right now. We're in a group that with Morocco is quite tough. But of course, Liberia, we expected to beat those teams. And of course, having been 2-0 up against them and that result go away from us is really a big problem for tonight's game.
It really is, but the conversation then doesn't stem away too far from conversations had when Peter was in charge, when Gordon was in charge, and I can go on and mention so many more coaches about that chokeability that we have, to qualify for things, to drop the ball at the last minute. I know South Africa is playing the West Indies at the moment. Maybe that's why all the cricketing terms are coming up. But when you analyze it, Gordon, when you look at it, what is that thing? Why is it that we can never get over that last hurdle?
Yeah, to get over that last hurdle now is tonight. There's no second chances. Tonight is the night, We put ourselves in this position. To be 2-0 up and then let that result slip away from us was obviously very, very disappointing for everybody. Even the coach was very upset by not wanting to do an interview afterwards. But I can understand his frustration. 2-0 up is such an important game, an opportunity to really step your authority and progress through to the African Cup of Nations. You let it fall away. So that is very, very disappointing. But tonight is a chance, an opportunity for them now to get away from this and get the result. And I don't think it's going to be easy at all. I don't know how the preparation has gone. I believe they left on Sunday to get there. I don't know if there was enough time to really have a look at the situation. I'm not sure if they've played on the AstroTurf before. And one thing I do know, the crowd will be very intimidating. So there's so many obstacles in their way now, and it's been brought upon by ourselves.
I know they wanted to train at an AstroTurf field out in Soweto at the Nike Center, and they were unable to do so because there was a trophy tour at the time that was ongoing. I just wonder as well, how different is it, Gordon, and how impactful is it? Can that field, how much of a difference can that field make in this match today? Because it looks very heavy.
Yeah, it can be very different to other AstroTurfs. So every AstroTurf is a little bit different than the other one. And how is this one? I'm sure, I'm quite positive they had a training session because the rules state that the visiting team can play or have an hour training session on the field the day before. But whether that's enough for them to get used to it or not, I don't know, because there's a huge difference playing on the turf and playing on an AstroTurf. The AstroTurf, the ball runs much quicker. It depends what type of AstroTurf it is. It's a thick and heavy one that you just mentioned to me. I'm not as hard to watch it right now. I just finished my training sessions with my kids, but it's very, very difficult situation for them, So if their preparation's gone well, with all things being equal, we should be able to get a result tonight's game, and obviously we're all hoping for that.
What do you make?
Really hoping for that.
What do you make of the changes made? I mean, Zwane sits this one out. Foster's not feeling well. He sits it out. Hlongwane, who started the last one, he sits this one out. Leroux sits this one out as well. What do you make of those changes?
Well, look, obviously the coach, I don't know the predicament the coach is in with whether these players are injured or not injured, but they're all very good players, as we know. So the reason why they're sitting out, only that answer can come from the coach. Maybe someone's pulled a hamstring, maybe someone's pulled a knee muscle or something.
I mean, besides Lyle Foster, they haven't told us about any injuries. Zwane is fit to play. Hlongwane is fit to play. And many thought that Zwane was really the cog that held the team together. Are you not surprised to see him not be a part of the team?
No, I agree with you. I think he should be playing, of course. But as I say, we don't know what the reason is behind it, and only the coach can answer those questions. We can make many assumptions. Did these guys, does he feel they let him down in the last match? Is that the reason why he's making so many changes? I don't think so many changes was necessary. They were 2-0 up, and something happened. Whatever happened, rectify that, fix it up, and let's go out there and play. And give the confidence to the players again. The players are also not very happy, of course, that they lost the game or didn't take the full 3 points. So they're also in a situation, but the time between there and our next game, like now, was for us just to speak positivity to the team. Let's try to make guys, we think they're going to football. Come on, we can do this. Whatever the case may be. But when you start making so many changes in our team, all of a sudden the players start thinking amongst themselves, well, is he blaming me for this result? Is it my fault that we lost or drew in our last game? Or why is he making so many changes? There's always that. I think the most important thing is the man management of the team. That is, in modern football today, that's the biggest criteria is to be able to manage your team and manage the players. Manage the players really with all the tactics and all the tactics, of course, are important. You've got to get a guy from the back, you've got to play a certain way. That you do with your analysts and you prepare the team accordingly. But there hasn't been much time between our last game against the team and tonight. It's been a couple of days, as you say. I think they left on Sunday. I would have liked to see them more preparation. So how much preparation have they really had? They left on Sunday, they travelled, they arrived probably on Monday, they're playing tonight. They had a training session last night. Or maybe the day before, did they play on the AstroTurf or not? So we can start looking for all the excuses at the end of the day, what, why, and how. But we won't really know until we really know what happened. We weren't there when I didn't see the game when they lost it or they drew. So obviously the coach knows what went wrong. He knows what instructions he gave the players, And did they carry those instructions out or not? But I think let's forget about why. I think we've got to forget about that now. And tonight is the day that we've got to get behind this team, and they've got to just go out there and get the job done. And they know the position. I mean, losing the game tonight is going to be an absolute disaster. But I don't think it's possible for them. I don't think it's possible. It's not normal for us to lose a game like this. With the players that we've got, and we play in Liberia, ranked much lower than us. And the importance of this game. The disappointing thing for them is how is their confidence, how are they feeling. And the other team, of course, are on a high. They're on an absolute high. They believe they're going to win this game. They've got the crowd behind them. They're playing at home. They're playing on the extra trip that they're probably used to. So there's a lot of positives for them, and for us, we still got to sit and wait and see how the game goes.
I mean, it's 1-0 at the moment, with 28 minutes played. Zaki Lepasa scoring that goal. We suffered after being 2-0 up the last time. Do you think there should be a different strategy of not parking the bus, but do you think at some point, playing away from home, you've got the lead already, do you at some point say, hey guys, let's try and contain these points, let's try and close up at the back?
No, I don't think we should close up at the back at all. I think we've got to go and try and score the second and third goal. We're very capable of it, and we are probably 3 goals better than this team. So we need to show that confidence. We need to go forward and put them on their back foot. Don't give them a sneak. Don't give them an opportunity to start thinking, hey, we came back last time, we can come back now. Let's go score the second goal. Let's attack play. Let's put them on their back foot. Let them defend. Because it's far too early now to go to the back end. Let's go to the back and wait to try and play it out. You don't want to do that because you can't play that for so long. You want to just go out there now and play with confidence. They would have given a big boost now, and let's go and score the second goal. That should be the approach. When it's last 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and the other team is nothing to lose, and throwing everything up front, that can happen when you've got to now defend and have the confidence that you can defend for that last 5 minutes, whatever the case may be. But you certainly can't defend for too long in the game. You need to score the second goal.
Gordon Nicholson, former coach of Bafana Bafana, thank you so much. It's a cooling break at the moment. 29-degree heat out in Monrovia with humidity of 91%. Let's take a break. It's still 1-0.
Fire! Not just the hits and anthems. We got the classics too. If you like it urban, Metro FM, it's where you're at. Sport Night Amplified, weekdays, 6 till 7 p.m. on Metro FM.
Uzipho Dlangalala, a football scholar, of course, in this country. Zibo, and I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot of what the coach, Hugo Bruce, has had to say about South African football, South African players overall.
Looking through all of it, was nothing new that has not been said before at different times by different people. Maybe the tone, maybe the context, maybe the timing could have raised feelings and other things. For example, Carlos Carrera said the same thing, but not in the same way, because the South American, the Brazilian particularly, do not share most of things like us. Whether the race is different or not doesn't matter so much. So in Belgium, in Europe, what he said, the way he said it is respected, and he has seen and regarded as being an honest person.
Sport Night Amplified, weekdays, 6 till 7 p.m. on Metro FM. Yo, we gon' get them. Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
Ulipasa lo abamaziyo uzokora lo mfana. Uzakhele lo abamaziyo uzokora lampa. Uzokora lampa. Zokora la pasa. Uzokora le pasa. Andile. Tsebo Feast all the way from Pretoria. No. Pambili ke gore yanga butaka. He le pasa. He le pasa. Ashu le pasa korile. Bona, South Africa ya winner today. Relax samba fuicho. Relax.
Many of you, of course, watching and listening at the same time. Appreciate it. Muzi.
Cha ke sebeqale ngendlela futhi ababeqale ngayo nangolesihlanu odlule. So ugcina ungasazi ukuthi kumele ujabule noma ulinde nje kuze kuphele 90 minutes ngoba ayi bayaphoxana labantu ulindela noma yini la.
Hamban Brian. Hope you good. Mara guys, the first 11 that he picked for the first game, we're all celebrating, say, yeah, this is our strongest team that we have.
True.
Now he put a different team. Now he's saying, we're gonna lose. And what is this coach? What's this coach supposed to do? How is this supposed? Like, is this job open for anyone? Because I feel like people are so quick to criticize this guy. he's got average players, but you want like world-class results. Guys, this guy is trying with what he has. We don't have the best squad in Africa.
Wow, that reality, yeah?
I think it's a good lineup, but I don't think it will produce results this one. It's just a good ball player. No results here. Foster scored last time, then you don't play him. What do you expect to get from someone who
Foster's not feeling well.
In the motions of scoring. We're really playing for a draw on this one. Thanks.
Oh, Andile. Ningebe yashintshe goalkeeper tsenza finyana veli motho amna chance awukhonala awu.
Even Ronald Williams getting the fire.
Anna ya hane la Pirate mara untsetsa nzwane hape. Awu. Ne. Mara sora chap bra Andile ofense ka mawopane ka.
Thank you.
Evening, this is Simpio from Tsakane. Me, I see nothing wrong with the starting lineup. Every player that Hugo Bruce chose is most capable of doing the job. Let's trust the boys. And have faith in the boys. We have a strong bench, so I'm hopeful.
Sure, Andile. I mean, as we look at the stadium, Liberia, I think we gotta be honest with ourselves. We are not full football lovers as much as we claim to be. I mean, we love talking about the game, we love moaning and complaining, but we don't support football. I mean, look at the stadium, look at the fans. Well, it's packed. And if you look at that, if you look at the game today and look what happened last week, we didn't really come out. We didn't really support the team as much as we claim and often claim to do. So, yeah, but hey, good luck to the boys. I'm rooting for them, and I'm rooting for the coach as well. I hope we qualify, and I hope that we do something.
Oh, don't take another one. That familiar feeling has just hit. It's 1-1. It's 1-1. Liberia have scored. It's 1-1 right now. Liberia have just equalized. And the score is Liberia 1, South Africa 1. Bafana Bafana have given away their lead again. It's 1-1 as we speak right now. Yeah, that's 1-1. Celebrations around the stadium reverberating right now. We've got that familiar sinking feeling. They've got that feeling that they can do it again. William Jabbar has just scored to equalize. It's 1-1. Let's take a break.
We stay connected. No matter where you are or where we are. Metro FM. It's where you're at. Sport Night Amplified. Weekdays, 6 till 7 p.m. on Metro FM.
Good evening, Andile, and good evening to the listeners. I'm amplified to be here.
Always great to have you. I've seen some celebrations on Twitter, man, Clyde, with people celebrating Bafana Bafana. Why are we celebrating? What's going on?
People must stop rolling the carpet for mediocrity. Bafana need to play to qualify. They still have to travel to 2 other countries. The third one, which is Zim, has been kicked out of the tournament. So it means Bafana will only be playing 2 countries in this qualifiers, meaning as much as they still want to get excited, they still have to win those 2 home and away games. So they just have to win at least 2 or 3 games to guarantee themselves a place in the next tournament. No calculators will be needed then.
This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sports. Let's go. Yo, we gon' get them. Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303. This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile. Okay.
Victor Tlangwane sits with us. The refereeing this season has been so bad that you guys went and had an entire workshop for all the referees in the DSTV Premiership. How did that go?
In the beginning, they could not do well.
They were failing.
No. When they started, you start by getting slow marks. But now, as they improve,
slow marks. They were failing.
Because
they did not understand the rules of the game.
No.
Midway into the season.
There's match situation analysis and there's also trivia. So what was lacking most in our games was trivia.
That is sad.
It's not like overall, but there is an improvement.
No wonder the state of officiating is where it is.
No, that was sad.
This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sports. Let's go. Yo, we gon' get them. Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
Oh, yeah. I need to get out of this depression mode and be maybe a little bit hopeful. It's 1-1 at the moment with Liberia and South Africa. I mean, the way we conceded that goal as well. I mean, not in a way that we would have wanted to concede a goal, but it's 1-1 at the moment as it stands. 39 minutes, 38 minutes have been played, going into the 39th minute now. And I'll watch the game for you. We'll let you know how it plays out as it goes. Bafana Bafana at the moment 1-1 with Liberia, and surely a must-win match with Liberia, with one more game to play against Morocco. We're talking about a Moroccan team here that went on to beat Brazil over this past weekend. Another opportunity Bafana's having now. Let's see how it goes. I can't believe that's been missed. I cannot believe that has been missed. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that has been missed. I can't believe it. I can't believe it that's been missed. But yeah, if it goes like this from the beginning now, you can only imagine how much of deja vu we're getting from the previous week. On Friday when this match was on. 086-000-2160. It's an emotional time for South Africans at the moment. Hugo Bruce, surely doing the best that he can, or do you disagree or agree with that? But let me play you something. The under-23s of South Africa failed to qualify yesterday. They were beaten by Congo because obviously they drew here and then they drew there, so that disqualifies us, takes us out of the running. Congo have made it possible for us not to be there. So we didn't qualify for AFCON, and we didn't qualify for the Olympics either. This is David Notwane, who is the coach of the under-23s, but also, he's also a coach at Sundowns. So this is his part-time job. This is what he had to say on failing to qualify.
So, yeah, very, very disappointed. But I think the boys put up a very, very gallant fight under very difficult conditions. And we're going out on an away goals rules, unfortunately. And it's football, It wasn't our time, but yeah, it's emotionally very much draining if one look at the circumstances overall in terms of our campaign, and it leaves one with a lot more questions, a lot more soul searching. These are the dreams that we live for as coaches, to go to these major tournaments. We were so close yet so far.
So yeah, that was yesterday. Congo beating us on their away goals rule. They scored here, we couldn't score there, so that meant they go through, and our under-23s failed, therefore, to qualify. 060-552-7303. 5 minutes away from half-time in this match. It'll end while we are on air, but it's going to be Aibong Akawe that will take it over from us and give you the details of this match. But also, there's a cricket match that's currently ongoing too. Kate is with me, SABC Sports reporter in studio. So we're going to try and get a score to that. So two South African teams playing. The cricket team is playing the West Indies in the decider and the last of the T20s right now. So we're going to cross and see what Kate can tell us about that match too. But I can tell you that it's heated out in Liberia at the moment. 1-1 as we see a red card being banished at Bafana Bafana bench. There is a red card that's been given. Asked to escort. It's not Hugo Bruce though. It's not Harman Mkelele. I'm not sure who it is and what the anger is about at the moment, but there is a red card that's been banished. You are keeping track, Kate, on what's going on with the Proteas. What is going on against West Indies at the moment?
Proteas, West Indies 94 runs, and they've lost 3 wickets already. Kagiso Rabat has got 2. And I think Kate Nokwe has got the third. So, yeah, third and final ODI match between those two nations. 94 for the loss of 3 wickets.
Who's batting?
West Indies are batting.
What I'm saying is, are they chasing it in? Did we win the toss and decide to bowl?
We won the toss and elected to bowl first.
All right, cool. So we're bowling first. Well, what's the? I mean, I looked at the target from the last game and it was very high. What are we hoping they get to here? I mean, it's surely nothing in the 200s.
No, I don't think they can get that, especially not at Wanderers. But, I mean, the 438 game was at Wanderers, which is still celebrated today.
But that was 50 overs.
Oh, yes, that was 50 overs. So this was equivalent to that as far as cricket is concerned. So, yeah, they'll definitely, I think a good score here will be around 140, 150. South Africa will feel comfortable in chasing that. But this is West Indies having, they're trying to prove something as well to their nation. So we could be looking at close to another 200.
1-1 at the moment out in Liberia. It's 42 minutes that have been played. South Africa scoring first, and then, after that, the equalizer came from William Jabbar. It's 1-1. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, would love to hear from you on 086 0002160, WhatsApp on 060 It's a Mighty Metro FM. This is Sports That Amplified with Andile.
Fire! Not just the hits and anthems. We got the classics too. If you like it urban, Metro FM, it's where you're at. The Metro FM Music Awards 2023 are back in Bombella, Mpumalanga. The awards return to honor and celebrate the best of South African talent. Stand by for the nominee announcements and get ready to vote for your favorite artist. The biggest night on the South African music calendar, going down on the 6th of May at the Mpumalanga Stadium of Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Metro FM, it's where you're at. Call the Metro FM live studio 0860 002 160.
Right, so I mean, I'm all for South Africans, especially South African women in sport, because it hardly ever happens that here in the country you get women that are here, that play sport, that get paid highly, that are able to get a bond, get cars and live comfortable lives just off sport. So whenever somebody says they're going overseas, it's always such a great thing to see. And also we have this notion of, it's better overseas. We want them to go overseas because of the opportunities that are there. One such player we've got on the line right now, but before we go to her, Kate has been following the story. She's an SABC reporter. Kate, you've been following the story. You've been following women's rugby in this country. Who is Aseza?
So Aseza is arguably, as I described in this couple of stories that I've done on her, the best player in South Africa right now as far as rugby is concerned, in women's rugby that is. She was a standout performer at the 2021 Rugby World Cup, which was played last year because of COVID. She came off a year injury, and when I was talking to her about what pushed her, what was her drive in that tournament, she was talking about how they told her that she probably wasn't going to play for another year or so because of her injury was so severe, and she defied all odds to be playing there. And she said she wanted to make a mark to let people know that she has arrived, and here she is.
Aseza joins us now live from Spain, where she is on a team bus on the way to dinner. Aseza, thanks so much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you, Andile. Hello.
Hey. So,
hi, can you hear me properly?
We can hear you loud and clear. I just wonder, people around you there,
Okay.
I am hearing a lot of Spanish. I'm assuming they can't hear what you're saying. What's the language barriers like there?
I go. No, we all speaking Xhosa. No, I'm with my teammates.
Oh, kuthetha isiXhosa neSpringboks apho. Ngithetha isiXhosa nonke. Akumandi.
Abanye bayasikwazi bayasifunda. So yeah.
Aseza, it's always a pleasure to highlight women in sports doing absolutely fantastic things. You are one such woman in the world of rugby. Many South Africans, if you can say to them, pick 5 female Springboks, who are they, would not be able to tell you that. Talk to me about, what are some of the struggles in women's rugby that you think need to be highlighted?
But from rugby, then ngayazi noyazi rugby. But since ndajoyina irugby, mna istruggles zethu andizibonanga
Can we boost her up a little bit? She's coming across very low, Aseza. I know she's part of the team and she's in the team bus as well. Aseza, sorry, you're just coming across very low. We're going to try and boost you up a little bit because we really do want to hear what you've got to say. In the meantime, while Timmy T tries to sort it out, let's take a quick break. Highlighting women in sport every single Tuesday.
Want to know the secret to soft and beautiful underarms? Try new Nivea Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl deodorant, enriched with black pearl extracts and a premium long-lasting fragrance. Feel beautiful and confident all day with new Nivea Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl.
Arsenal's major focus is to keep their winning rhythm to have a solid grip on the Premier League title.
Right back to Saka. Absolutely glorious from Arsenal.
Meanwhile, Leeds United are searching for ways to step up and grab a position in the middle of the table.
Rodrigo can wrap it up here. Rodrigo! Leeds United win the game.
Will the Gunners of London express their intentions to hold on to the top spot? Or will Leeds demonstrate how to steal the Giants' joy? Do not miss out on this superb vibe. Arsenal versus Leeds United. This Saturday, 1 April, live at 3 p.m. on S3. Hashtag We Love It Here. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Yo, we gon' get them. Get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303. Call the Metro FM live studio. 0860-002-160.
I've got a question here from Ulutende who says, did you just say our under-23 coach is a part-time coach? Yeah, David Natwane works for Mamelodi Sundowns. That's his 9 to 5. That's his job. Veli, who is our under-20s coach, Vela, he's out at Kaizer Chiefs. That's his full-time job at Chiefs. And under 17, who do we have at under 17? Crowley, I think. We've got Mr. Crowley. Yeah, I've got Mr. Crowley. That's out at under 17. So, no. Outside of Hugo Bruce, we do not have full-time coaches that are coaching what is now known as Ama-Anda, the Andas. You know, so,
and then they expect professional full-time people results.
We really do. Let's try this again. We were talking to, a Springbok player, par excellent in Aseza, who is all the way out in Spain on the team bus on the way to dinner, hijacking her to have this conversation, because on a Tuesday we highlight women in sport, and she is the pinnacle, the very apex of what women in sport is in South Africa. Cesar? Yeah. I'm going to try and find another way to do this and perhaps, have this conversation. But she's got a very interesting story, doesn't she?
She does indeed. Currently, she was telling us that she's sitting on 2 offers to go to Europe. And that is what every player dreams of, especially in women's rugby in this country. You want to go play overseas because there's better opportunities, there's better money, at least you would hope, you would think so. And also, but you want to play professionally. And South African rugby in South Africa is not professional, at least not for women. So they can't live off what they are doing inside. It's semi-professional in South Africa. So to go play.
When we say semi-professional, what are we talking? I mean, we know what the football figures look like. We know that women in football in South Africa, those that earn on the higher echelon of earning, earn just below 20,000 rands. They're those that just get stipend. They're those that get paid 5,000-6,000 rands just to keep them going. What about rugby? Do we know?
Oh, well, I don't know the exact figures, but it is in that region that you get paid per match. So you get so the season that you're in camp, so the season that you are playing, depending who you play for. Again, because someone like the Bulls, for example, recently they announced that they awarded 35 contracts to women. That was a first in this country for any team to award 35 contracts to women to semi-professionalize it. But also, like, as much as the Bulls will try to get them contracts that way, they'll get the same access to the facilities as the men, the same medical aid, the same medical, all of that. They won't be able to pay them as, for example, what a Victor Matfield was earning when he was playing professional, because the women's game is not in the same level, and therefore it's a chicken and egg situation where unless corporate South Africa backs the women's sport, the unions that do contract these players will not be able to afford them the lifestyle.
It feels like ticking a box. It feels like sport for women in South Africa is like ticking a box. It's like saying, you know what, we need to empower women. We need to get women in. We need our team to have a women's team on the side. So let's just do it. It's not like we have to pay them. We're not going to say it's professional, it's semi-professional, so that they all still have jobs and they do this as a part-time, as pastime. At the same time, though, they've got to travel all over the world, which then impacts the very jobs that they've got to be getting, because you're away for weeks and weeks on end.
Absolutely. That's where they are. And I think that's what the challenges they face when someone offers them a job overseas, for example, it's have to weigh all of this. Is this worth going abroad where you're going to be earning this money that people are going to think earning, especially someone like Aseza? She did say that, when you go abroad, people expect you to be earning certain XY amounts of money because, well, you are abroad. And she has to explain that sometimes it's not as clear black and white. So this is the story that she wanted to find out from her, like what is holding her back from taking these contracts that on paper seem lucrative, but, that's not the full story.
So what it is somebody saying, hey, you're doing really well, you're fantastic at what you do. You don't get paid well where you are, but come here and we'll pay you the exact same or a little bit more at least. Why would anybody leave their home, their comforts, to go overseas? It's almost an insult, and I wonder if they do this outside of Africa.
Yeah, no, so these are the questions we pose, because someone like, for example, like Uzintle Mpupa, who is teammates with Aseza, went abroad. She was the first South African Springbok to get awarded a contract abroad, and she was able to she was telling journalists that she was able to ask her mom to actually take a break from working, so she got a lucrative contract that she was able to live off. But she's back in South Africa now, so you see, those are the other conundrums, like why did she back so quickly after what seemed like a nice opportunity abroad?
Let me ask a question that I've asked many a times. I have 3 daughters, so I always want to have, and one is very sporty, extremely sporty. What sport in South Africa can my little girls play where I don't have to worry about them financially, where they're going to do well, buy their own cars, buy a house, and be able to keep food in the fridge?
Their kids might get a contract in
so right
sports.
now?
Right now, no.
There's not a single sport in South Africa. I mean, I know the cricket contract seemed for the Proteas to be a little bit better, but are you saying no child who's playing sport, who's a woman in this country,
will earn the same, will be on par with what you're earning, for example, as a broadcaster or as a regular dad, a 9-to-5er? I don't think so. And I'd like to believe that I'm wrong, but I don't think so right now. I mean, the new minister, Uzizigoda, was saying that he is making plans to professionalize cricket in South Africa. But until that happens, we don't know where that's going to go. But also, that won't mean that the players or who are these girls, Ayabonga Kaka, that you speak to on a regular here, will earn the same amount as Kagiso Rabada, for example. I mean, you look at someone like...
Fine, let's say they're not earning the same amount, but they're not even earning 25% of that. If you're playing for the Proteas, if you're playing for the Springboks, more than likely you're a millionaire. More than likely.
Yes, if you are male.
If you're male.
Yes, if you're male, because also...
If you're female, you don't even have a car.
Most probably, especially if you're black.
Especially if you're black, you don't even have a car.
Absolutely. But also it goes back to women's sport, and not just in the country. Because when you think about, the USA women's team, for example, is crying about equal pay and all that. But when you look about the avenues that all World Cups, for example, generate, with the women's game doesn't generate as much money as the men's game, and therefore when they get to pay the percentages that they play, at the end of the day there's a bit of discrepancies there. English, because they don't generate the same amount. So I think it goes back to how women's sport, not just in South Africa, but especially in South Africa, I mean, we are far behind. But women's sport in general is not on par with the men, not commercially at least. And that's where you want it to be able to earn the money is that people like you and I, myself, who have 9-to-5s, for example, are earning as male or female.
I can tell you now that it's half time between Bafana Bafana and Liberia. South Africa scoring first through Zakele Lepasa, but that lead soon, as it was here in South Africa, disappearing. It is now 1-1 at the moment in the halftime break. The match will be coming back in less than 5 minutes from now, which means you'll be joined by the one and only Ayabonga Ncube. Kate, we're hoping that when they do come back, let's speak to her. Let's have her in studio.
Yeah.
And let's have these conversations.
Absolutely. I think she has an amazing story.
I enjoy the stories of and the heroics, and I'd love to have that, be highlighted. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that whole team, especially Aseza, has an amazing story that, that nation should hear. Because also, it speaks to where women's sport in this country is and it could be and should be, actually.
Appreciate you. Dr. Gao, it's basically saying if you have a daughter, if you're driving right now, if you're at home right now listening to us and your daughter's out there, and we've spoken about this before, and she loves sport and she wants to, you need to say to her, hey, but that business degree. You can't say to her, no, focus on this and let's put all the money into assisting you be the best you can be. Whereas with your son, you can say to him, no, I see talent here that is immense. We're going to focus fully onto this because this can take you out of poverty.
You're going to have to say to her, baby girl, stay in class. Because
have fun, No,
definitely. I mean, as you said, I liked how you said you wanted to say part-time, but you said pastime. Because if no one's paying you for it, it's essentially a pastime.
Yeah, it's not even a part-time.
So it's concerning. But we've spoken about this so many times. It's illegal to not pay people who are doing the same work of the same value, the same amount of money.
But remember
it's against the law.
Remember that when laws are set, there's always seeming to be a special or side bracket that covers entertainment including sport, including television, including all of that. There seems to be a different set of rules because in any other company, if you've been working there 10 years, you can go and say, no, I demand to be permanent.
No,
how do I work here a certain number of hours dingeko permanent?
No, Andile, nathi essentially sithatha kamandi lento, but naleyo basenziwa ama-casual is illegal. It's not correct, right? But guess is and say all manner of things, but it's illegal. The law says if after 3 months, you've worked in a place for more than 3 months, the pay you're supposed to get should be equivalent to the pay for the same work of somebody who's permanently employed.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting in a newsroom and there's somebody next to you who has a permanent contract and you've been on contract for the last 10 years,
yeah.
So I think, in the next few months we're going to elections. I want to see how many manifestos will speak to this question.
I can tell you now.
Of equal pay in sport and entertainment.
I can tell you now. 0.
Where?
Absolutely 0.
Where? So
it would be a first, would it not? I don't remember that ever being in anyone's manifesto. Never seen it.
I've never seen it.
Yet, who's out there carrying on their 1 million Instagram followers, on their tweets, or on the stage? Who's out there carrying the barrier for those that want to be elected?
Yeah.
The very same entertainers endorsing.
About political parties who instrumentalize entertainers and sports people when they want to canvass for votes. So samfonela Andile phone senza door khawuze. But when Andile samnika shirt yodwa. Sizamnika eza shirt iziyeke
awusifane ezizibuso.
Samnika zinekhola.
Ezinobuso ziphuma makho.
Yeah, no.
Mama makho uyazifuna.
Zezilala ngazo.
Wese no Mandela, we're going to dig up no Mandela sit in.
Exactly, right?
Ifana necalendar la way. Bayafuna abantu emakhaya ifana necalendar.
No, I'm still shocked here in Joburg. People stop you. Hey, someone's SAPC. Yes. Call unfunele calendar semhlobo wenene.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man. Is that only calendar?
Yes.
I walked out of here.
Yes.
I walked out of this building February with at least 10, 15 calendars.
And I'm like, and my mom knows where to get them. Like when I was a kid, I used to be able to name all the presenters.
Of course. And it was
but
a big.
And now I go back. I'm like, I wonder what this is. Because my mom still has those, and they're a big deal in my Eslalin.
No, man, no.
2 after the hour 7.
Digitizing the QR code.
No, Chonga, man. That thing must be there. It must be, and there must be more than one because there must be one in kitchen. It's one of those things. Abong, what do you have going on?
Yeah, so tonight we're doing things a bit differently. So we're of course going to be giving people the latest out coming from Monrovia.
Yep.
And it's not Make Sure. It's not Make Sure.
It's not Ngam.
Yeah, it's not Ngam. Yeah. So we'll take a look at that. And then, of course, You know, tonight's our penultimate show.
Oh.
Tonight. So,
gee whiz.
We're answering questions, Andile.
Tonight's a penultimate show?
Yeah. Tomorrow's the last show.
After tomorrow, Ayabonga Kawa is no longer here.
For Metro FM.
For Metro FM Talk.
But here for something else. We'll talk about that some other time.
But I'm not hearing you between 7 and 9 after today.
Definitely.
After tomorrow.
Definitely. After tomorrow. Tomorrow's my swan song. Achamankis. It's my swan song. You know, so
what are we doing in order? I mean, what's the build-up?
So there's a few questions that have been posed over the last few years about certain elements on the show.
Okay.
So today we kind of do a bit of a behind the scenes. So we bring Jaws on, we bring Uchola on.
Can I start?
explain the poem? Yeah. So I explain the poem. I explain the ambient sound. I explain the J Dilla. I explain so much about how the show comes together. Because I think a lot of people, you know, I was at the airport in East London the other day and someone says to me, Brah, that song, what's that song you play? They're on Common. And I'm like, yeah, It's Your World, best J Dilla. And he's like, you took me to my childhood, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to talk about all of that tonight. I
can't wait.
Yeah.
So it's almost a Ask Ayabonga.
Yeah. So situ kwabantu can start 060-552-7303. Anything you've ever wanted to ask
about the show, about
here.
Aya.
Yeah. No, about the show, about me, about all manner of things.
All the conversations we've had.
Yeah. About I was 2 years old, about molasses, about inswa, about everything.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So at least I know what I'm going to be doing on the drive home. That sounds very exciting.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing tonight. Of course, we will have the last time we get to speak to Zwela Akemguni from Benguela Global Fund Managers. And yeah, Zwela is a fascinating guy. He was actually on that documentary about Steinhoff because he's one of the people who were investors in Steinhoff who was like, something funky here. And of course, they are an investment group. And we're going to talk to him today about the markets, but also talk to him about his business because a lot of people would have heard him on the show over the last few years or so, but probably wondering, yeah. So tonight we get a sense, and he will also have an opportunity to tell us a bit more about the genesis of Benguela Global Fund Managers as a black-owned asset management company.
Okay, I want to know.
Yeah.
When you put together your reel of shows, which one is your apex? What conversation do you say, gee whiz, I can't, like this conversation? Because I've heard many great conversations here, but what conversation even you still want to talk about? It could be a story that was so big that it could be anything really, but what one conversation sticks out?
Look, I mean, I think one series of discussions that have certainly stood out for me, Andile, is around the taxi industry. We've covered over the last 4 years in a lot of depth the taxi industry, and I found those discussions fascinating. Of course, we've taken the show across the world, right? I mean, we've gone to India. We've gone, not necessarily physically with the show, but, you know, in a way we've had shows where we've done the shows from there. India, we were in Colombia last year. And that's been really good, you know, the opportunity to do that. And then, of course, I mean, I think if there's any... I'd have to think about that.
Please do. I'll give an answer tomorrow.
There's a few, yeah. Our first chat, by the way, on this show when we started, the 1st of March 2019, was with Khalima Mutlante.
At that time, 2019, he was no longer...
No, he was out of
office. Yeah,
out of office. Yeah. So we spoke to him because he was part of some global group of former leaders of whatever. So I do recall that. But yeah, man, we've had fascinating chats, and I think tonight we're also asking you, you know, what discussions did you find memorable as we go down some reflection, but also no holds barred. We pose
often
some
wondered
questions of the team,
with the proximity you are to the presidency. How come we have not had the president on the show?
We are happy.
How come we haven't had the president on the show?
You want me to take a dig at the president now?
No, I want to know why we haven't had him at the show. Because, I mean, this is something that, from where I sit, is something that I could have made a call to get.
So Andile, many of our colleagues have complained about the accessibility or lack thereof of the president. And I think for me, it was probably one of those few things where I said, let me avoid this conflict of interest.
I see what you're saying.
Because, you see, you're an advisor, right? People take your advice or they don't.
Yes.
Yeah. But to then be an advisor and still want to have a space where you are critically and incisively asking this person questions, I didn't feel at any stage that it would have come off in a way where I would have gone in as hard as I would have wanted. Or even if I did, there still would have been a lot of chatter to say, sweetheart interview, yada, yada, yada.
Because
So I was
as
like,
an advisor, is he then to some extent directly your boss as well?
No.
So as an advisor, it doesn't filter down to boss.
No, there's no like boss
hierarchy.
No.
Okay.
Look, we all subordinate to him because he's the president.
Of
the
course,
country.
of course.
But I mean,
hence I said direct.
Yeah,
you know,
but
for
we.
you.
So when we say advisor, we are part of a series of advisory groups that are out there on climate and all manner of things. I happen to be on the economic side of things. So yeah.
Hey, it's not mine to do. It's yours. It's yours to ask the questions. It's yours to get the answers. But it's one that I'm hoping you're going to take full advantage of, because I too want to know a lot of that. I can tell you that the game has kicked back on.
3-1, guys. Have faith.
1-1 at the moment.
6-1 last weekend.
But 3-1 today. That's the one that matters.
Oh, Katie, go. We've got to
She
get
has
out
a
of
calculator here.
I do.
We've got to get out of here. It's 9 after the hour 7. Tomorrow, we say goodbye to this, what has been an amazing experience. And I say every week, and I'm going to say it again today, if we say the best among us must lead, then the next 2 hours are going to be that of leadership with Ayabonga Kaw. For myself and my entire team, and our hearts on our sleeves for the love we have for this republic. Pella, Nanso me.